Hey there, welcome back, and in this video we will discuss about methods. And in order to understand what exactly is method, first of all we will create a very simple and easy to understand program based on loops. So let's get started. So in here we would be creating two loops based on maybe while loop. Now there is no specific requirement that which exactly loop we need to use, but in order to change things a little, let's make use of a while loop. Now the loop will start from 1 and it will end at 10 maybe, and let's output the value of I real quick. Alright, and finally we will also increase the value of I per iteration. Let us add in yet another loop, and this time way around the loop would be based on variable j, and we will start the loop from 20 maybe, and again let's make use of a while loop, and this loop will end maybe at 40. So we will give the condition as j is less than equal to maybe 40. All right, and let's again give it a output, and the output would be based on variable j. So we will simply display the value of j, and let's increase the value of j per iteration. So this is cool stuff. And in between these two loops, let's also add in yet another println statement, and we will add in a couple of stars as a separator between these two outputs from the loops. So let us execute this program. This is taking some time, more time than usual. Here we go. So here is the output, and if we check, this particular output is generated from the loop 1 and this output is generated from loop 2. So pretty cool stuff, and this is what is expected from this program, and this program seems to be a good and easy to understandable program, right? Now we're gonna do one thing. We will try to create one method and try to simplify this particular program. So let's check how we can do the same. Now friends, the first thing that you must understand is the correct placement where we should add in the method. So in here, first of all, we have this class, and there is a code block for this class. So what symbolizes the code block? Definitely the pair of braces. So if I highlight this brace, then the highlighted portion which is highlighted by eclipse is the code block for this class. Likewise, inside this class we have this method, the main method, and the code block for this method, if I highlight this, is in front of us. Now friends, we cannot define a method inside method, so we must define the method just after the main method but inside our class. So each and every method should be inside some class and it should not be inside some other method. So that's something we must know. If we highlight this code block, then here is the brace which is ending the scope of this method. So we will hit enter and add in a new method in here. First of all, we will type in public. Now what is this public? Public is nothing but access modifier, and we will discuss about access modifier in greater detail down the line in this course. Then moving forward, we will type in static. Now the reason why we are making use of a static keyword is pretty simple. We would like to make things simple for you. So why we are making use of static is something which we will again discuss in greater detail in our forthcoming videos, but making use of a static method will definitely make things simpler for you to understand as of now. And then finally, as we are not returning anything, we will simply give the return type as void. And then moving forward, we will give the name of the method, and the name of the method could be like loop1, right? And then we will add pair of parentheses, and then finally there would be this code block which will define the body of your method. All right, so first of all, let us cut this part and paste it in here, and let us also define the variable I real quick in here. So this would be good. All right, so this seems to be good enough, and let us call in this loop1 method. So in place of this particular stuff which was there in our main method, we will simply make a call to loop 1. So we will type in loop 1, and I suppose that's it. It should call in the method properly. So this seems to be good enough. Let us execute the program, and here is the output. So output is perfect. Now as we have already used this particular variable in the method itself, so we can also get rid of this variable from the main method. So this seems to be good enough. Alright, so let us keep this separator as it is, and let us copy the signature of this method and paste it in here. Alright, now let us make this loop 1 as loop 2, because no two method can have same name and exact same signature. Alright, so this seems to be good enough, and let me cut this particular part from here and paste it in here. So this seems to be good enough, and in here I will say loop 2. So pretty cool stuff, I suppose, and our program will work properly. So this is amazing that how we can cut thing off and our program is working properly. Alright, so this is cool. Now why we are making use of this method? There is no use of this method before. Also we were achieving the same stuff, and after adding this method again we are achieving the same stuff. Now the reason is pretty simple. For example, if we would like to print from 1 to 10 using a loop again, then definitely methods can be called multiple times, right? So in here I can again type in loop 1 and our work would be done. The overall logic of method is we can keep stuff which can be reusable by us in a method, and we can call the methods numerous times based on our requirement. For example, in here we are simply making a call to this loop 1 multiple times and our task would be done. There is no rocket science in here, and here is the loop 1 called once again. We can add in the separator once again. That will give you a better overall understanding. So we can call in these methods as many times as we want. So that's amazing that how we can reuse the stuff by making use of loop. Now this is only a small thing. Methods are very useful. In fact, the backbone of C programming language is methods. So methods are very powerful. For example, we can again make a method which can solve both of these purposes, and it will make our program more efficient. So let us check how we can replace this loop 1 and loop 2 using a single specific method. So let's check that. Now friends, if we check the output of this program, there are two methods which are generating this output, and if we check, these methods are very similar. Loop 1 is generating the output from 1 to 10. It is simply displaying numbers from 1 to 10, whereas loop 2 is generating the output, and the output is a loop which is simply displaying the value from 20 to 40. So very similar way, right? Similar output. And if there is some way that we can dynamically control the value of this initial variable and this condition, then only one method can solve our purpose. Let me repeat it once again. Let me show you the output once again. The overall idea behind both of the loop are similar. We are simply displaying these numbers, and the only difference which is there in between these two methods are the starting value of the loop and the condition are little different in these two loops. And if somehow we can control this initial value and the condition, then definitely we would be able to control the output from outside, and moreover only one method would be required to achieve the same output. So this is something which we're gonna do. So first of all, let us get rid of the second method. Let me check the scope. Here is the scope of this method. Let us get rid of it. All right, and let us rename loop 1 to loop maybe. So this seems to be good enough. Then we would be calling loop, loop and loop. So we are calling loop thrice, but how to control this int I equals to 1? So this variable needs to be dynamically initialized. So that is one target. Now friends, in order to receive information from outside, the way is making use of parameters. Now parameters are pretty simple. We need to add in the name of the variable where we will receive the information from outside. So let us add in the variable I in here. Now as soon as we define this parameter int I, Eclipse will start complaining. So we will fix the issues in the main method later down the line, but let us resolve the issue which is inside this method loop. Now if we hover upon this issue, it will say duplicate local variable, and the rule is pretty simple. If we are like making use of a variable as a parameter, we won't be able to make use of that variable in our method. So definitely there is a duplicate variable, so let us get rid of it. Now friends, this particular method is now capable of receiving information from outside of this method, which is amazing, right? Let us do one more thing. Let us rename this variable I. That would be better. So I will highlight this particular variable, right click and refactor it and rename this. And we will give the name as step. Alright, so this is the stepping value which will like step up and finally reach the final value. Alright, so as soon as I save the changes, all the occurrence of this particular variable is also refactored automatically by Eclipse. So this is good, but now we need to also receive yet another information from outside, which is this particular value, which is nothing but the stopping criteria, right? So let us do one more thing. In place of this constant, let us make use of a variable, or let us give the name as final. Final would be a better name. Let us say final, but as soon as I make use of this word final, it will say final is an invalid expression, because final is a keyword in Java. So there is a generic rule. We won't be able to make use of any keyword as a variable name. So we will change the name final to final value, and now it is again complaining because in here we need to receive the final value again from outside. So now we will type in int final value. So now we need to receive two values from outside world, and then we would be displaying the output on our console. So this is good enough. Alright, so now let us fix the issues which are in our main method. So first of all, we need to pass in two values to this loop method, and as we are trying to generate the same output which we have did in earlier case, we will give the value as 1, 10. Then we will give the value as 20, 40, and then again we will give the value as 1, 10, and it should generate the exact same output like before. And here is the output. So this is amazing, right? And let us also format the program a little bit. In order to format, we will make use of Ctrl+Shift+F combination, and our program would be formatted a little. So this was overall just that how we can make use of methods, and this was an introductory lecture where we have taken care of couple of things. But again, methods are very powerful, and we will make use of methods heavily in programming. Alright, so this is Chand, and I will catch you in the next video, and we will discuss more about methods.